that we try to give both for MSc and SSC, that is mid-semester exam, as well as the semester end exam. So for both these exams, we have given a lot of question bank. A similar way, we wish to give lot of question bank. Now, for mid-semester, whatever we have given as question bank, same can be treated as assignment for TS2, TA2. That is teaching assessment 2 exam also we are supposed to give. So instead of exam, what I feel is you start preparing answers for all the questions that we have given as a question bank. That will take as TA2. So average TA1, TA2 we may have to take, that will add to your final marks. So you keep working, writing the answers for that, and you can submit the scanned copies, because you are all remote and there is no way that you can physically submit, isn't it? So scan them simultaneously and put them in the WhatsApp group. PDF. So make it PDF so that it cannot be altered. Then mid-semester exam, I have already declared the dates, April 1st to 3rd. So there is only one paper, and the other paper, I think headquarters, Gandhinagar people will conduct for paper 2. So paper 1, probably 1st, 2nd, 3rd, any one of the dates I may conduct. And for practical, you told me that you will be attaching yourself to the RFSL there only, local. Is that right?
We should talk to the RFSL ma'am first, and then.
Yeah, do it faster, because days are not very far. So, and about your minor project, you talk to the.
I'll be giving it here in Dharwad campus.
So anyway, you have a RFSL also, and this time only some equipment, microscope, stereo microscope kind of things. I think for the second paper you have a lot of things, theory as well as that. So you can attach to RFSL and then pay a visit and then complete that practical aspect and minor project also there only. That would be better instead of traveling all the way. And to get leave also is an issue in your case. That. So I think better now we have 3 people, I think we'll start off. That would be better, isn't it? Now, in the last class we tried to understand some concepts like photogrammetry, then microphotography, photomicrography. Then we said there are some tools and all, and there are some stages, and what is digital image processing. And digital image processing में कितना steps है, and then what is the detail of each step and all, and what are the tools, software tools which we have for processing the digital image, and what kind of digital images are submitted to FSL, and then do they have the requisite software, where they use most of the time either the algorithms which are inbuilt into the software, and apart from that some mathematical calculations will also be there. So these are all inbuilt into the software system, and these are available commercially in the market, and all that one has to do is install in your workstations these things, and then once you are ready with it, and when the evidence is submitted to you, then only precaution when you are processing the digital image, or for that matter any evidence, you need to take enough precaution that you don't work on the original ones. There are ways and means by which in FSL you can duplicate, rather clone the original copy, and then work on those copies. But only issue with the court is that you need to prove to the court, because court always believes in working on original things, whether it be document, whether it be some kind of an evidence. They expect the original to be submitted, and whatever examinations that you are conducting in FSL need to be done only on the original is the expectation of the court. But then the problem with the digital type of evidence is that you cannot straight away work on the original, because these evidences are so fragile, and even a mouse click and all will alter the original shape of the evidence. Now for that purpose there are ways and means again. Now what you need to do is make a bit stream map, a bitmap kind of a bitstream kind of an imaging, rather called as mirror imaging. Now there are again tools for that. All that one has to do is use some write blockers and all, so that you will not be writing anything on the original, and use that kind of a physical and software is also soft form also. In both the forms these blockers are available. Now when you have to isolate, segregate the system and then want to copy that onto the hard disk and all, there are ways and means again. And there are softwares that also help, which are quite been tested, validated, which are very quite robust and all. These are been time tested and they are using this. And some of the police stations also are given enough training, and then they are also doing. What is the scenario, Patil, in your state? Are police given some kind of a training, or you are going there and you are doing it?
Regarding ma'am?
Regarding this computer related things, digital information, digital imaging, or computer crimes, or computer related evidences and all, are they trained to collect by themselves, or you are also going there helping them do the mirror imaging? How is it done? What is the practice?
We are helping. They have undergone training regarding that, but we are going and assisting them.
So you are always going there and assisting. So you are all given that wherewithal infrastructure for doing that also, cyber related crimes also.
Yes, ma'am.
That's good, but only issue is, in the court, you need to convince. The only thing is that, see, the original and the clone that I try to prepare from it also, they are one and the same, thereby using some concepts like encryption is one, and then using a the MDH functionality algorithm and all, and you get a digest, MD digest and all, and then it's a alphanumerical kind of a thing. And if you can demonstrate to the court that the this MD digest for the original and the clone that you try to make, the calculations are exactly the same, thereby proving the fact that I have only made clones out of the original, and it's not a mere kind of a copy. So copy paste, normally when a file is copied onto some external disk and all, what we try to do is file by file copying happens, but in bit stream mapping it is bit by bit kind of a mapping that happens, and any manipulation or any alteration in the original can easily be detected, because the hash values after using the algorithm are so drastically different. The inclusion of a comma or a point or a full stop or whatever character, if you are going to change, the alphanumerical digest is going to drastically change. So this is one kind of a authentication process that normally police and forensic people try to adopt to show to the court that original is not been altered, but rather you have taken abundant precaution to ensure that, make some mirror images out of that, and then you are working on the mirror image rather than on the original, and it is as good as doing your analysis on the original. So this kind of a demonstration before the court need to be done, so that they will also understand that whatever procedures that are adopted by the labs all over, they are good SOPs and they are being tested, time tested once and all. So that is one issue mostly when we talk of digital evidence. And of course the Evidence Act also gets amended to that extent after the enactment of the IT Act, and we have the 65D, 65 again in B, 1, 2, 3 subclasses are there. Now as per that you may have to produce a certificate, digital certificate, some certificate, not digital certificate, certificate, saying that that it is been not altered during that time of taking the print and all, and then regularly information is being fed into that system, and then it's not an isolated system, it is in the network, and for the purpose of that you have to treat the network as a single computer, and who else has to, who is the one who is supposed to give this kind of a certificate? Again they said the manager or the person who controls or who has the access for that data and all. These are all very mandatory that 65B, though when you talk of servers and cloud information and all, they said everybody will have an access. But the only thing you need to give some permissions, read only permission, cannot write and all. I mean, you need to give that permissions to the person. But then only thing is that you have to say that it's original and it's a cloned one, and then you also have taken enough precaution, and then you are also issuing the certificate saying that no, it's the data is not only not for this purpose of investigation this has been used, but this has been regularly put to business and all, and it is functioning throughout, and even if some small repairs were there now and again, but then that's not going to drastically belittle the information that is contained in it. So this kind of a certificate also need to be given to satisfy the court. Now that's all legal part of it, but then there is a small chapter, a small topic left over, that is CCTV image enhancement. Now we know that CCTVs are erected everywhere, and then government sponsored or private people also. I mean, it's so affordable and all, leaving apart the quality of that, but everybody can afford this CCTVs, and only thing is, I mean, it has to be backed up by a hard drive. Now, and there are CCTV installations where periodically it gets backed up, and then after that time maybe you will not be, if you don't back it up, you will not have any data. But when it becomes an evidence in any investigation, but the instruction to that owner of CCTV is that you are going to preserve it as long as the investigation goes on. Now, if the CCTV image is so clear and so has got so much high resolution, there is no point in submitting the same to the lab, isn't it? But it so happens in most of the times during investigation, whatever CCTV footage that the IO tries to collect is often so blurred, so distorted, so shaky and all, you are not able to decipher anything out of that. Now for that reason, most of the time the CC footages are submitted, but originally if it is of so poor quality, even the top sophisticated technologies that are there in the lab also will not be able to do anything. But the only thing that you have to ensure is that you use little good quality camera in the CCTV. So the surveillance footage is, I mean, most of the time it is the one, and if it is not enhanced, and if it is submitted in its original form without any FSL treatment and all, it's of no use. No good purpose will be served, because you are not able to identify the criminal out of that, you are not able to identify the crime vehicle out of that, you are not able to decipher the vehicle number and all, or you are unable to say that this is the lorry number which is proceeding and all. So if these things are not very clear, then there is no point, and such footages are not accepted, not admitted in the court of law. So hence there is a need and necessity that you need to use some softwares which will definitely enhance the visibility of the CCTV. Now there are quite a number of technologies that are there, and what this technology use mainly is, I mean, given under, like pixel interpolation is one process, then sharpening is another process, stabilization wrap is another process, and then the adjustment of shadows and highlights is another procedure. So these procedures will help us to a great extent in removing the noises, number one, removing the background unwanted kind of information, and thereby highlighting the the area in which we are interested. It can be a picture, it can be a video, it can be anything. So the point that we are interested in from the point of view of the investigation. Now, for example, sharpening is one process where you try to increase the contrast. So between the edges of the picture or video, you are trying to increase the contrast. So if with the increase of contrast, the picture becomes little clearer and it gets resolved. I mean, that means its resolution becomes little higher. So that is one thing. And stabilization, what you try to do is, now in smartphones and all, when you use this, comes to a great help. And then if suppose there is a movement of the hand, or if the person who is taking the film or shooting that film, if he is little shaky because of some movement and all, it is going to reduce the, because that is the reason. But smartphones, it is being used by everybody. So in order to reduce this kind of a distortion on account of the motion or movement of the person, then this wrap stabilization is going to reduce that. Now shadow highlights, as I told you, so it tries to bring in lot of details, minor details, so that the clarity of the image will be enhanced. Then you have the signal to ratio. Now signal is the one which we are interested in, and noise is one thing which is unrelated to the evidence. Now if you increase the signal component and simultaneously reduce the noise, that means you are trying to the signal to noise ratio you are going to increase. That means the value signal by noise has to be more. That means signal component quantity should be more compared to the noise component. Only then you will have a ratio, a very bigger ratio. So this is one purpose. And speed at which the footage initially was played back also, in order to capture more information, more perspective. So if that is reduced, maybe we will have more clarity and all. So these are some techniques, some of the tools are going to adopt, so that the image at the end of the process is going to become much more clear. Now there are again some 4 to 5 kind of what you call the enhancement softwares. I mean, each software, it also comes with a price and all. Commercially they are available. Otherwise some of them may be open ended also, but open software are always, they come with some risk of some embedded kind of viruses and all. I mean, you have to take enough precaution before you use that. So otherwise the standard ones like Topaz Video Enhancer and Adobe Premiere Pro CC and Power Director, Shampoo Video Optimizer and Pinnacle Studio, these are some of the standard softwares that the FSLs are trying to employ, and thereby with all these enhancing tools, one is going to get at the end of the processing a very good image which is very clear, and then has got a high resolution. And I mean, you can't expect something very magnificent to happen when you feed the computer with a very low quality, very poor kind of a image that is being taken with a very low resolution kind of a camera. So originally some kind of a image has to be there with some quality. Then only it can be enhanced, the clarity can be enhanced. If there is no clarity at all, so there cannot be any enhancement. Even if you use the most sophisticated software also, nothing much can be done to that. So similarly Adobe also is one editing software, I mean, which will try to again enhance the quality of the video. So Power Director also similarly does the same function. And then if suppose some movement, some shaky videos, some colors need to be optimized, some contrast has to be increased, or some sharpening has to happen. So all these comes with a single video optimizer shampoo, so that can be used better. And Pinnacle Studio is also one such software that can be used to enhance or improve the quality of the color, and then the features also gets little improved and all, and thereby overall quality of the video is going to be enhanced. So these are some of the softwares that are commonly being employed by the forensic science laboratory whenever they have to enhance the clarity or the visibility of the video or a picture or an image, a digital image which has been taken and submitted by the police officers. Then there are some facts about the CCTV camera that different resolutions. If you take, if you have a higher resolution, then the quality definitely is going to be much more clear, and the poorer the resolution, the poorer will be the lower will be the quality. Now, if you are not able to, as I said, especially when you are submitting these digital images or videos to the scrutiny of the court, definitely the expectation of the judge is that after the enhancement and after submitting to the FSL, there should be some, definitely there should be some increment in the quality. Even after submitting to the FSL, if there is no enhancement, there is no clarity, then submitting such a kind of digital images is of no avail. So you need to do the proper enhancement tool and use that, and then at the end get a little clearer than the original, and then submit that. Now, poor resolution, of course, individuals you cannot identify, and then you cannot, even though they are a line of sight is there, but then you are not able to get a clear picture of the individuals. So only when individuals are identified, only when the miscreants are identified, you will be able to frame charges against them. Otherwise, when there is no clarity, there is no way that you can catch the criminals. And CCTV camera should also be of a high definition kind of a camera with 4K cameras and all. Because the entire CCTV camera is the heart of it. If the camera itself is of a low quality, then you cannot expect that to capture a very good image. Then this is about some facts about the CCTV. Now, if somebody asks, can my CCTV recording be hacked? Definitely this is a record which is pertaining to digital record, electronic record. Definitely if somebody can hack it, they will own the CCTV, and whatever manipulation they want to do, they are at liberty to do it, and they have the privilege to do it. So there are a number of ways to do this. That means either introduce a kind of a virus so that it is going to occupy the entire hard disk, and it is going to make copies out of that, and whatever vital information if you want to retrieve also, it overshadows that and all. I mean, viruses are one dangerous kind of specimens that get introduced into the system even without the knowledge of the owner of the CCTV. Then the quality of CCTV cameras are secured with because there are also ways, and the only thing is one should be aware. There are encryption technologies. One such encryption technology is using SSL, that is secured socket layer, especially the HPTTS and all. You see that S thing that indicates secured socket layer encryption. So camera, if you want that nobody should hack it and all, I mean, you need to secure that with this secured socket layer encryption. Now, encryption also protects your videos which are fed into surveillance footage, and because they are encrypted, they are protected against manipulation by the technology of encryption. Now, they will be kept for a set period, or during that period, or I mean, if it involves some investigation of that particular footage, then the instruction to the owner is that as long as investigation goes on, please don't erase it, and then you please somehow make a backup of that and then keep it. So this is the kind of instruction that can be given as a part of investigation. Then CCTV footages are easily, even if they are deleted, it's not so difficult, because any digital data, even if that is deleted, it only loses the address. Otherwise, if it is not overwritten and all, there are ways and means, by which you can again retrieve the information, because the address is only lost, and once you are able to locate the address, the file is very much there, unless until it is frequently being put to use, and then thereby it is overwritten. If such a danger is not there, and CCTV footage, like any other digital evidence, can easily be recovered or restored, even if it is deleted. As I told you, most of it is saved on hard drives and all, some softwares come with the recovery options. Also in the same hard drive and all, there is a provision also to recover the deleted data. So they are coming with that provision. Then, as I told you, there is a law that governs the digital evidence, and 65B is one such option that we have in the Evidence Act. And if you submit along with your recordings the 65B option, then your evidence is accepted in the court of law. All that you need to do is you need to do a lot of demonstration, padding and all. And 65B is so mandatory after so much case law and all. Now people started insisting, people here, I mean the court started insisting upon the 65B, that whether the record is accompanied by the 65B. So it only talks about 65B is talking about the admissibility of the electronic records. Now it also has got lot of clauses, 1, 2, 2A, 2B, 2C, 2D, 3, 3AB, so many clauses are there. I mean, the essence of this 65B is, now when you say a computer output, that can be a printed form, that can be a copied version, or it can be any other version. So as long as the computer output is produced by the computer during the period over which the computer was used regularly, this is very important. Now when the output of the computer, which is now acting as an evidence, when that is being taken or when that is being produced by that particular computer, during that period of time the computer was working and it is regularly storing the a lot of information. And even if it was repaired, some little repairs were there, and that is not going to adversely affect the information that got stored in the system. That's what we are going to demonstrate. Now it also mandates that we need to submit the certificate, and they are giving the what should go to make this certificate, what are things should be there. A certificate doing any of the following things, that is to say that identifying the electronic record contained the statement and describing the manner in which it was produced, how that particular record, electronic record, has been generated, giving such particulars of any device involved in the production of that electronic record as may be appropriate for the purpose of showing that the electronic record was produced by a computer. So this has to be given, and dealing with any other matter which is conditions mentioned in 2. That's what it says. Now what does 2 say? It says during that period information of the kind contained in the electronic record which the information so contained is derived was regularly fed. So this is one thing. The word regularly being fed only will imply that not only for this purpose it is maintained, as a matter of fact, as a routine regular business, we are doing this for a number of, this is our business, for a number of years we are doing this, and small little kind of repairs here and there during that process of generation of this particular electronic record, nothing adverse has happened to the information contained in it. It is pristine and it is preserved in a proper way. This kind of and what is the mode in which you have produced that particular electronic document also need to be mentioned in that, and it's been though it is in the net, it is in connection with the other computers in the networking, LAN or WAN, whatever networking, and each of them are treated as original. So these are some few kinds of wording it should have, and by and large courts all over now they have come to consensus that irrespective of whether it is there in the cloud or whether it is there in the server and all, it should be accompanied by this certificate. 65B certificate is now mandatory, that without that maybe some iota of doubt will remain, and based on that also the defense would like to take advantage and all. They'll harp upon the same point that this particular electronic record generated doesn't followed by, it doesn't carry any certificate, so we have some suspicion on the authenticity of that. So they may raise these issues. So it's always better, though a lot of debate is there on case laws with regard to this certificate, but ultimately they say to play safe, it is always good that all electronic records be followed by some kind of a certificate. That is the status as of now. Then there are some guidelines which for the purpose of admissibility and all, the groups, professional groups, they come out with a lot of SOPs, as they are called, standard operating procedure, or it may be a departmental policy, or it may be in the shape of a general order. Now whenever you are processing or whenever you are using this digital imaging, the SOP should invariably be followed. So it's not only for digital but film based videos also, it applies equally. Now the original digital image, as I said, it has to be preserved, and only the analysis has to be done on a cloned version, and how cloned version is being done and all we have already discussed. You need not rack your brains, there are softwares available, so with the help of that you can always go in for a mirror image, and it also calculates the hash MDH values and all, and alphanumerical values can always be compared between the original and the cloned, and then you can also demonstrate to the court that since there is no discrepancy seen in the this MDH digest, so thereby proving the fact that the original is not been altered or not been tampered with. Now digital image should be preserved in their original file formats, because there are different file formats, zip format, JPEG, this and all, MP3. So there are many forms of digital images. The file formats keep changing, but the saving of a file in some file format, or if you are trying to compress it in order to save some space and all. So if the defense is intelligent enough to prove that there is a lossy compression and then some vital information is being lost and all, you have lost the case. But then if lossy compression is used, some critical image information is also, as I told you, lost, and some artifacts are also being introduced. So you have to select such a compression process, because when we discussed different processes, we have said there are some tools, even after the compression also there is no significant noticeable kind of a change. So you need to select such kind of softwares which will leave very little unnoticeable kind of a artifact. So it's better that you use such kind of a software. Now if the images are stored on computer workstations or server, and several individuals will have access, you may think that they are safe in the cloud or they are safe in the server and all. I mean, there is no guarantee that nobody will have the access. The only thing is you have to give permissions, like read only, write only, read and write. That kind of permissions also need to be given to that. And if the image is to be analyzed and enhanced, the new image file created should be saved as a new file name. So then the original file must not be replaced, because don't overwrite. That's what I told you in the beginning itself, that as long as it is not overwritten, then you will have the information of the old file still be present. Only thing that we'll be losing is the address part of it. But then this if it is not put to use and all, if it is not overwritten, then you still have the information of the old deleted file and all. So that will be helpful for the purpose of investigation. Now, I think we have come to the end of the chapter. I don't wish to start another new chapter. Maybe we'll go slowly because enough time is there and all. I think 1 hour per day for 2 days a week is quite okay, because now we are left with only one unit. I think I should be able to complete that within 15 days and maybe 10 days and all. So we have done with unit 3, which is called digital photography and digital image processing and all. I have not given any question bank on this, because for unit 3